Holy crap, this episode. This is Amphibia. This is episode 10B, Prison Break. Oh man, this episode. I said the last episode was a good one, was a good mid-season part, was a good part of the mid-season finale, because this is the other half of the mid-season finale that really sets up a lot of stuff. So this entire episode for the yeah, this entire episode focuses on the Toad Tower. I mean, for the most part, I will really. This is a crazy episode, man. So pretty much this episode is focused on the Sasha, who's the girl that we saw at the end of episode 1B at this tower locked up, and so she is still locked up. So we know now she's been there for over a month, because like Ann said in the last episode, it's been over a month. So she's been there for over a month, and she's pretty much is bored out of her mind, being stuck there, but she's determined that she will get out and find Ann and Marcy, and it's pretty much what you would expect for. I know it's kind of like they feel like Viking warrior barbarian, these toads, like they're they love, they do what you would expect. They get into fights, they drink, well, not did they drink? I don't know. But oh my god, Troy freaking Baker, for now, is the main bad guy in this show. Captain Grime, and he has a scar, he has a blind eye because it's a scar, and another one is a glowing eye. It just is his design when you put it side by side with the other toads. It's a pretty creepy look, like, because like both of his eyes they don't have pupils. They're just one of them's white and it has a scar over, the other one's glowing and it's green. So it's like, that's pretty terrifying, and just, oh my god. I'm so glad he isn't. I mean, the one thing I was worried about with this villain, the first time, like the second he walked in, I was worried he was gonna be this big scary brute dude, and I felt like in this world it could work if you do it right, and boy did they do it right, in my opinion, because not only is this guy a brooding villain, but he's freaking funny. And I love the fact that it's Troy Baker voicing this guy is so good, because I've seen so many. I love Troy Baker's voice acting. Like I've seen, he voices Batman in a few. He's voiced Batman in a few pieces of media. He voices Joel from The Last of Us. So usually he has had some like comedic performances, but a lot of people do know him for his more serious, more brooding performances. So I like how in this show he has to play this brooding guy, but he also has to be kind of funny, and not like he intentionally makes jokes. It's half the time he has to like act serious, but then he has to be like, okay, come on, seriously. Okay, sorry, I gotta move that because it looked like it was about to fall. Now it's not gonna fall. Like, for instance, when he goes back to interrogate Sasha, like Sasha's just like, who am I? Where am I from? Another world. How did I get here? I have no idea. Am I spying? No, I'm not. It's like, she's just like, we're gonna keep doing this? And it's like, she's pretty much gone through the routine. She's like, yeah, I know the routine. I know what we're gonna do. Can we stop? And it's just like, I don't believe your lies. And it's just like, and then I love how one of the guards walks by and is just like, and it's just, and the guard was like, hey, Sasha. And it's just like, hey. And it's just, Troy, and then it's just, I'm gonna keep saying Troy because it just hear Troy, and he's just like, what is that? He's like, they're supposed to be loyal to me. Why are they? But then yeah, there's it's so cool. And I love some of these guards too. Like there's Matt Jones, who is he's Wedge from Final Fantasy VII. I immediately recognize the voice. I mean, again, he's one of those voice actors where you just have to hear a few lines and you're like, I've heard it before. And in this one, he plays he's Percy, and he is kind of, he's like, I don't want to be a guard. I want to be a musician, entertainer, that stuff. And he has an accordion, he has the drum stuff. So he's basically he wants to be a one-man band thing. And yeah, it's just they could be part of the episode is them establishing just the environment of the tower, but then the second half of the episode is where things really kick into gear because these herons attack, and they're giant and they eat everything. Like they say, like, sir, we have herons nearby, and Joy Baker's like, kill the lights, lock this place down, and then Sasha's just like, what? Are you guys scared of birds? And then Captain Grime is like, they eat flesh, they eat whatever they see, and then Sasha's like, oh, and then this comedic moment, and I love it, is just when Percy's leaving the tower, and he's about to cross the bridge, and he has his one-man band thing on, and so I love everyone at the top of the tower, including Troy. He's like, no, Percy, get back, please get back to the tower, get back inside, please get back. Like Sasha, I love the shot too of them because Troy's on top of the tower. I keep saying freaking Troy. Captain Grime is on top of the tower looking down on Percy, and just underneath him is Sasha in the window, also doing the same thing. Like, no, come back. And yeah, wouldn't you know it, Percy causes causes some noise, and the herons attack, and there's a body count in this. A few toads get eaten by these herons, and it's crazy. And Captain Grime is trying to rally his troops, but he's more shouting at them, screaming at them, like telling, "What are you doing? This is your job. Go and fight. Go." It's just and none of them are really fighting. Most of them are running for their life. But then Sasha steps in, and she's able to handle the herons, and I love this. Captain Grime's like, the creature can fight. Where did you learn to fight like that? And then Sasha's like, cheerleading. It's like, all right, she Kim Possible. I wish there was a Kim Possible joke. Maybe that was a Kim Possible. I don't know. Or maybe, okay, I'm talking too deep into this. That's just one of the first things that popped in my head when she said that, is like, I remember an episode of Kim Possible where, it was, her dad was captured, and so, along with a few other people, and they're seeing her fight, and they're like, how's she so good at that? And then Kim's dad's just like, cheerleading. So that was just my first thought. Everyone, Sasha and Grime, they're the ones who mainly pulling the most weight in the fight. It's kind of funny, it's kind of cool. And then they get to the safe room, and everyone's trying to stay alive, but Captain Grime is trying to rally the troops again, but he's still screaming at them. He's still saying, like, this is your job. You're supposed to be defending. You're supposed to be the fiercest warriors in the lands. What are you doing? And Sasha's like, hey, Grimey, can we talk for a sec? Talk. And so Sasha is more of like, Sasha's like, okay, so instead of yelling at them and scaring them, why don't you try to be more why don't you try and compliment them, encourage them, don't, be nice. And it's just, and I love guys like, you want me to congratulate them for being terrible? I think that was the line. It's something in that realm, and I just remember it's so good. But it does kind of boil down to the fact that like these are you want your men, you want your warriors to be loyal to you, to fight for you, not to fight of because they don't, so slow, like there's this bit where Troy or Captain Grime is standing there, and he's at first he's very against it, but then Sasha's like, oh, what was that? Oh, what was that? You think this guard is one of the toughest in the land? Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, and what did you say about this guard over here, that he's super loyal to you? And then and then slowly Grime's like, yes, like the one toad, he's like in a cast, he's like nearly in a full body cast, really. And then Grime's like, yes, he never missed a day. and then they get to Percy, and I love Grimes just like, I don't want to do it, I don't. And then Sasha's like, do it, and he's like, I don't want to. And then eventually, so basically he eventually gets everyone to rally behind him, and they work together to fight off the herons, and pretty much they get a victory, and they're like, yeah, for Captain Grime, yeah, for the tower, yeah. And so pretty much what you would expect. Grime is liking this way of manipulation, in a way, from what I got. And Sasha originally was doing all this because they made a deal. She made a deal with Grime. It's like, okay, if I help you battle these things off, will you let me go and let me be on my merry way? And Grime's like, yes, But obviously, they're both kind of playing manipulation, because she's like, well, you seem to have everything in order. I'll get going. But then Grime's like, are you sure? I mean, because considering where we are, and like they're in, like they're on this, and where they are in terms of the tower is they're in a pretty dark part of the lands, and so so they're both kind of playing their game, like Sasha is trying to manipulate Grime, while Grime's kind of showing the card, not showing the cards, like pretty much just actually, yeah, he's pretty much showing the cards, because he's like, you're stuck here regardless. I mean, unless you want to venture out on your own. And he's like, but here you could be my second in command. You could help me lead the toads and help us deal with the problems of this land. And then so Sasha is like, okay, all right, fine, I'll stay, because to be fair, yeah, she is kind of gambling with this, because if she knows that these people are probably bad because they captured her, and the fact that this dude, the fact that their leader is a guy with two eyes that are not even amphibian, if you can argue. But also, yeah, if she leaves, she's really, really risking the chance of getting eaten alive. So she even has a moment where she whips out the picture of her friends, and she's like, hang tight, just a little while longer. But then she's like, but we could probably make something of this place. And yeah, and I like how they end it with the toads from the last episode show up and say, we got a report, we have a situation in Wartwood, a report from Wartwood. And I like how it's not even a big focus, it's just you're focusing on Grime and Sasha, and then you just have Grime like look over, and like he walks away, and then Sasha's just looking at the picture, and then you just hear in the background, we have a we got a report, we just got word back from Wartwood and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, where are we going from here? And it's gonna be interesting, because we know where Anne is, we know where Sasha is. Where the heck's Marcy? It's like there's this third girl in the picture, but we haven't seen her once. It's like we've seen this is the second episode with Sasha in this world, so we know what she's been up to. But where the heck is Marcy? I mean, I doubt they're gonna be like, oh yeah, she died. Like, I doubt they'll do that, because kid show. Yeah, but yeah, in terms of information, this episode definitely gave a lot. While also not giving a lot away, because the last episode pretty much set up what the Toad Tower was and who the Toads were. This episode showed what they were, you know. So I like that. I like all of that. And freaking Troy Baker, man. I just couldn't believe it was him. I mean, I know he's been in Disney related stuff before, and he plays both a good guy and a bad guy, but I just love the idea of him being the seemingly big bad in this show right now. Who knows if he's the big bad, because he's the captain. He's not, so there must be a higher up. And so we'll see what that higher up is. So alright, that was episode 10B Prison Break. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you in the next one.